Bright Facts presents 10 interesting facts about happiness. Throughout the course of history, the pursuit of happiness has captured the attention of a vast number of thinkers in a variety of fields, including philosophy, science, psychology, and even economics. But to be more specific, what is it? Is it a sense that you get? A mental disposition? A possibility? Despite the fact that everyone has their own idea of what it means to be happy, it's still an essential part of life, element in our lives. Of this much we can be absolutely certain. And despite the fact that the search for happiness is an intensely individual endeavor, there are some things that we can all take something away from it. In this video, we present you with 10 facts about happiness so that you can put these realizations into practice. In order to make your life better, for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. First and foremost, our levels of happiness tend to follow a U-shaped pattern over the course of our lives. According to the findings of numerous studies, the period of our lives known as early adulthood is characterized by the highest levels of happiness. We are fortunate to have few responsibilities and to be surrounded by family and friends who are full of love. But as we get older, particularly in our 30s and 40s, we have a tendency to worry more about things like obligations rather than things that bring pleasure. During this time period, so much takes place. Purchasing a home, getting married, divorcing, starting new careers, or switching careers, and so on and so forth, or taking care of a family. However, once we reach approximately the age of 60, our priorities begin to change once more. This time, in the direction of enjoyment rather than responsibility or obligation. The level of stress in our lives has decreased, which has led to an increase in the amount of happiness we experience. Our position in the global community. The second myth is that winning the lottery will magically make people happier. The majority of people believe that if they won the lottery, it would significantly improve their quality of life. However, studies have shown evidence that contradicts this theory. People who win significant sums of money do not experience a subsequent increase in their level of happiness relative to how happy they were before they won. Certainly, at first they are happier than they were, but after a few short months, they find that their life is falling apart. After they win, people's levels of satisfaction return to where they were before the victory. It would appear that while money can, to some extent, buy happiness, significant windfalls typically do not. Significant development in terms of either your personality or the way you understand both yourself and the world around you. The third myth is that having children does not automatically make a person happier. Bringing new life into the world is likely to bring a great deal of happiness. However, contrary to the widespread belief, this does not necessarily mean that one will be happy as a result. One study, instance, found that people who did not have children reported being just as happy as people who did have children. Those who have children, and in some cases, even happier than those who have children. According to the findings of another study, parents report lower levels of overall life satisfaction than their children. Without any children, there are a number of reasons for this, one of which is the fact that having children can be an extremely difficult task, especially when every ounce of effort that is required to keep up with their demands. Not to mention the fact that children will eventually become adults and either leave or remain in the family home at some point in time. Home forever. The fourth point is that people who own pets are reportedly happier than people who do not have pets. The presence of a contented animal in your home has the potential to be an endless source of happiness. Or at the very least, it can be for the vast majority of people provided they do not have an allergy to furry animals. Our happiness can be enhanced by our animal companions' capacity to love us without condition and provide constant company, and overall health and well-being, in addition to our perception of safety and security. People who own pets also tend to be healthier overall because they are more likely to engage in regular physical activity, and have a lower risk of experiencing clinical depression. The fifth reason is that we experience less joy on our birthdays. It's possible that some psychological factors are to blame if you don't feel like celebrating your birthday this year. Quirks. And rest assured that you are not the only one with them. People have a tendency to view their birthdays as defining moments that provide them with the opportunity to compare themselves to others, compared to their expectations of how their lives would be at this age. They are surprised by the reality of their situation. Sadly, this comparison is frequently discouraging for a great number of people, particularly those who are in their 30s. When examined more closely, we may not be as content with our present circumstances as we portray ourselves to be. when we are merely existing from one moment to the next. 6th on the list. The smell of flowers has the power to lift your mood. You might not think that flowers have any significance, despite the fact that they are appealing to the eye. Actual happiness, however, studies show that this is not the case. It has been demonstrated that the natural extracts that are responsible for the fragrance of flowers also have positive repercussions for both the mind and the body. The limbic system, which is the part of the brain that controls feelings and emotions, is stimulated by the aroma of flowers. Emotions. The region of the brain known as the amygdala is affected, according to the findings of researchers, by floral aromas, accountable for regulating the reactions of the emotions. They are able to achieve this by reducing negative emotions such as fear and increasing positive emotions such as joy. Joy. Number 7. The anticipation of something can bring you more joy than the actual experience itself. When we are excited about something in the future, we frequently experience the most joy in our lives. As it turns out, one of the main components of happiness is anticipation. Waiting for something can actually improve your mood, according to a study that was published in Psychological Science. Actually be more pleasurable than going through the actual experience. This is especially the case with regard to one's material possessions. When we're just on the verge of getting something, we get way more excited about it than we do once we actually have it. Getting overly enthusiastic about something almost always results in unfavorable consequences. Just think about all of the times a movie that you were looking forward to seeing let you down. The 8th misconception is that happy people don't think about themselves nearly as much as miserable people do. People who are unhappy have a greater propensity to be more self-centered, and they spend a significant amount of time considering only themselves, their requirements, their hankerings, and their private issues. In contrast, those who are content devote a greater portion of their time to contemplating the lives of others and the bonds that bind them. Alongside them, they are also more likely to assist others when they are in a position to do so. Therefore, it should go without saying that there is a direct connection between the level of quality and the price. Concerning interpersonal connections and contentment, unhappy people have a difficult time forging relationships because they are excessively focused on themselves. Meaningful relationships with other people, and as a consequence, they are prone to experiencing feelings of isolation over the course of time, despite the fact that unhappy people tend to have fewer meaningful relationships overall. Those who are happy have larger social circles. To continue to improve one's strength and level of happiness as time goes on, people who are paid on an hourly basis tend to report higher levels of happiness than those who are paid on a salary. It's possible that those who are paid on an hourly basis experience more joy in their work than those who are salaried. Come as a shock to many people, but there is a compelling explanation for why this is the case. They receive a higher wage for each additional hour worked, in contrast to salary workers who receive the same wage regardless of how many hours they work. Money regardless of the number of hours worked or how well they perform their job responsibilities. People who are paid on an hourly basis appear to have a greater degree of control over their time and are better able to plan their lives because they are not constantly preoccupied with thoughts of their work. Those who are paid a salary, on the other hand, have a propensity to constantly be thinking about their job. And you don't need a PhD in economics or psychology to foresee that this never-ending cycle will continue. A life that is solely devoted to one's work will not be particularly fulfilling. The 10th reason is that people who are happy have a greater likelihood of living longer than those who are unhappy. Keeping a positive outlook on life has been shown to add years to a person's lifespan. According to a recent body of research, people who are happy and who have a positive outlook on life in general have, because they are not putting as much stress on themselves, they have a better chance of living for a longer period of time. However, the physiological response of a miserable person to stressful situations or unpleasant experiences is distinct. Situations. The body secretes certain hormones in response to stress, and if this happens frequently enough and for a long enough period of time, long periods of time, it is taxing on the body, which increases the risk of developing a variety of physical ailments, including cardiovascular diseases such as heart attacks and strokes. We sincerely hope that our list of 10 interesting facts about happiness was enjoyable to you. In the very least, we hope that the following information will encourage you to give this topic a bit more of your attention, your very own contentment and methods for achieving more of it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends, so we can keep making them. Thanks for watching.